prior to that, I'd run a production company for 9 years, just running CAM machines, both singles and multis. So for 9 years, just making widgets by the hundreds of thousands for the motor industry and all sorts of industries. So I had a pretty good grounding in the repetition turning business. And then, of course, rebuilding various types of machines, you get familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of each. And what struck me was that CAM machines tended to have fast cycle times, but were not user-friendly. And CNC lathes, which had started to come onto the scene in about 65, I suppose, were very user-friendly, but generally didn't have quick cycle times because they only had one tool working on the workpiece at a time. So that put me on a search for a holy grail of a machine which had the fast cycle times of a CAM machine, the user-friendliness of a CNC, at a price that you could afford. And so that was what gave rise to the startup, which is FAS Machine Tools.
And is there anything like this machine? I know you have to tell us exactly the specs of it, but is there anything like this somewhere else in the world?
Yeah, no, you can buy other machines with a similar spec. They generally, there's quite a lot of manufacturers make them, but the difference is we've managed to contain the price. We managed to get the price way down, so it's typically about half the price
so it's
of what you'd pay for another machine.
So it's kind of like a partial Swiss machine.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss machine, but it has a fixed headstock.
Okay.
And so it's got an 8-station turret which moves in 2 axes. It's got a dedicated turning slide which moves in 2 axes. It's got a dedicated forming slide and a dedicated parting slide. So you can have 4 tools working simultaneously on the workpiece. And so it's kind of like a screw machine in that regard. So that's how you get your cycle times down. You have lots of things happening simultaneously. It's quicker than a Swiss machine because the disadvantage of a Swiss machine is when the headstock is sliding, you can't be doing forming work. So whereas that's half the advantage of having a multi-slide machine is that you can make things happen simultaneously.
I see.
It's if you can imagine just a configuration of a normal Brown and Sharp, except that it's CNC and the turret moves in 2 axes, so you can do all kinds of internal profiling. And it's got a turning slide which will do external profiling. So it's kind of like that. So it's a very versatile CNC version of a Brown and Sharp, if you like, in terms of its architecture. So what is unique about our machine is that the chucking, all the non-productive actions are electromechanical. There's nothing hydraulic on the machine. So it's very, very fast. So it'll feed up the material in less than a second. Whereas generally CNC lathes are more like 5 seconds. You've got a hydraulic story there. And so, because I've got a CAM machine background, I said, let's use what we can of that technology to get the cycle times down. So really, we've got a machine which I can honestly say it's the fastest gun in town, and you can afford to buy it.